All right, well, welcome back to Exhaust Sports Auto. My name is Kevin, and we are once again here at Cary Imports to give you guys another little special video. It is, in fact, the 2013 Chevrolet Camaro ZL1. So, if you're interested in pretty much purchasing the cheapest ZL1 in the country, well, here's your chance. It's listed for about 26 grand. It's not some stupid salvage title thing. It's actually like a legitimate car. However, despite what the title says, it's actually a 130,000 mile Camaro ZL1, about 129,000 mile ZL1. So it's probably like the highest mileage one out there. So it certainly lived a life, and we're about to take this bad boy out for a spin. So again, if you're interested, all their information for Cary Imports is down in the description box below. But let's just get started with this review, because the Camaro is, in fact, one of my most favorite sports cars that you can get for the money. I've driven the 2019 1SS 1LE Camaro with the stick, and it was phenomenal. I absolutely just fell in love with that thing. So I'm about to do the same thing here with this car. However, this is 2013. It's a ZL1, so it's like the Mac Daddy with 130,000 miles on it. So this vehicle is fitted with a 6.2 liter motor, of course, and this motor produces about 580 horsepower and about 556 pounds-feet of torque. And we are about to put this thing through its little paces. Pretty good. And this thing is so powerful that it gets so skittish on you. It is tremendous. I love that. But anyway, before we get into that, let's briefly talk about the looks, because this thing, I love the way the Camaro looks. It's so low slung, it's phenomenal. However, and this is also the best color as well, the orange and all that stuff. Chris Harris, I think he owned one, but I don't think it was a ZL1 or not. I'm not quite sure about that. You can double check me on that, but he absolutely loved the Camaro. He drove the ZL1. I saw his little comparison with the Porsche. It was great. But yes, this orange is phenomenal. This thing is fitted with 20-inch wheels that are actually forged wheels, so there is that. So, all right, okay. You get the way it looks. You know, some people love it, some people hate it, and that's really up to you. You have eyes. You can decide for yourself. This car is so easy to drive, by the way. This is, of course, a ZL1, so you know the handling is going to be tremendous. All right, Jesus Christ. You know, before a cop totally just catches me, I need to like kind of calm down there. This gearbox is phenomenal. This little 6-speed Tremec thing that we have going on here. There is actually a 6-speed automatic available as well. However, that's not the one that you want. You want this 6-speed Tremec. And what an amazing sound that this thing produces, dude. There's actually nothing really supercharged about the way that this thing sounds. It actually rings out perfect, you know, linear, of course. It's a 1.9 liter kind of a supercharger that this thing is using, and this thing, it just has like this really deep grumble kind of V8 sound to it. There's really nothing supercharged about the way that this thing sounds, and the speed definitely gets away from you. This thing is riding beautifully because this thing is fitted with like the magnetic shocks, of course, all four corners. It is a strut-based suspension up front, and it is actually like an independent suspension in the rear. So this is actually far more of a superior driving experience to something like a Mustang of the same time, because the Mustang, of course, it only got redesigned in like 2015, and that's when it actually became like a legitimate car, in my opinion. Brakes, everything about this, you know, yes, this is like a race car for the track type of thing, you know, that's what they like to tout, and that is pretty much true. You know, it's like the most track prep, track ready vehicle. It's so damn powerful with 580 horsepower, 556 pounds-feet of torque. The new one is like 650 horse and 650 pounds-feet of torque, but this is just really, you know, the way that GM described it when this thing came out was, it's good at everything. You know, that's what the engineer was saying. That's for us to decide, not him, because he works for GM. However, he's kind of right. You know, it's like the super car that you can drive every day. I think it's a super car, but, you know, a lot of people, you know, because it doesn't cost $250,000, you don't care. But you could take this out to a track, you could take it out to like a drag strip and all that good stuff. drive this every single day because it's actually like a civilized automobile, so that's fantastic. And they're right, I can drive this easily every single day because, dude, this 6-speed, it's not quite as like it's a short shifter, of course, but like it's not quite as like, you know, tight and put together like that new 2019 1SS 1LE was. So this is more so of this is like the perfect kind of like shift. I feel like this is like not super tight and packed together, the gears, but it's short throw enough. It's fantastic. The clutch is perfect. It's predictable, and this thing weighs about like 4,100 pounds, which is quite a lot. I'm not gonna lie. This is a very heavy coupe, about 190 inches long, and this thing is also very easy to kind of blip the throttle and all that good stuff. You know, heel toe downshifts are great too, so, you know, a lot of great things here. Other things about this car, you know, like I was saying, it's 4,100 pounds. There was a convertible, you know, the 2013 model year was the first time that they actually introduced a convertible model, so that's very interesting, and that thing is close to 4,400 pounds, so very heavy automobiles here, and you know, that's going to give it a nice substantial feel. Like, it's going to help soak up the bumps a little bit more. You know, that's kind of the practical things that people don't understand about a very heavy car. However, the chassis of this is so advanced, it's so rigid that it handles that weight exceptionally well. We're going to test out the handling here in a bit, but about to go over some really garbage bumps here as well too. This thing makes a racket too. This thing is loud as hell, but in a great way. You know, you're not really gonna be missing gears in this thing. You know, it's such a great transmission. This is the only way that I would ever have this thing. I'm about to take this over some garbage bumps now. And again, like I mentioned, the owner did replace the, the rear struts in this thing as well. So it's riding great now. Solid stuff, solid stuff. Yeah, this thing is a hoot to drive, no doubts about it. This is like, obviously this is overkill for the street, of course, but the beauty of this is that you can drive this on a street every single day. That's kind of the big highlight of this bad boy. But you know, you got to keep in mind, this is with 130k miles, you know, and this is impressing me to this point. I mean, this is such a civilized and composed vehicle. Holy crap, dude, this thing is just far too much for the street. Oh my god, but it's so like predictable and manageable. And you know, there's a tour mode, a sport mode, and the magnetic dampers, they kind of like they can change on a fly, right? It's, dude, I'm in sport mode right now. Just ate up those railroad tracks, no issues whatsoever. Because it's a 285 wide tire up front and a 305 in the back, it's not as wide as like, you know, the Mustang GT PP2 tires or like a Hellcat or something like that. Dude, there's no roll with this thing, dude. This thing is so damn solid. I am very impressed with this thing. Yeah, this is very good, dude. Excellent handling coming out of this thing, but that's what I'm saying. The weight of this thing is totally irrelevant because its chassis is so good. The way that they did the suspension is phenomenal. So usually with a car this heavy, you're gonna feel something and you just don't. And the brakes are tuned tremendously well. It's not gonna shoot you through the front windshield in this thing. Everything is tuned so well with this car. It's a electric steering rack, actually. It's not a hydraulic one. And you know what? It's not overweighted. It doesn't feel synthetic. It's not stupid in any way. I just really enjoy driving this car. It's much the same with the 2019 that I drove. It was just such a great, natural feeling car. I'll check out more of that handling here in a bit, but this thing can totally get side. Christ almighty, dude. Like, I really don't want to get a ticket in this thing. It's so damn loud. There's nothing like conspicuous about this bad boy. It's just loud as hell all the time, and it just damn, it's like Tesla fast, dude. It doesn't blur my vision or anything like that, but like, dude, this thing is just too much for the street. It's just mainly a huge racket. But yeah, like I was saying, you know, electric steering rack and all that stuff, but it feels great. I'm not missing a hydraulic rack in this thing, you know. Chevy was saying, like, because it's not a hydraulic rack, it's not sapping out power from the engine, so it's more efficient or whatever. Like, okay, I don't really care about that, but you're gonna have more than enough fun with this thing, man. The beauty of this is, unlike something like a Hellcat, this is actually has like a real chassis. You can actually learn to handle this type of power. It's not completely uncontrollable. Yes, it's very fishtail happy, but again, you know, I think I could kind of just cut myself off there. You know, 285 tires up front, 305s in the back. It doesn't do the stupid tram lining thing like I experienced with the Mustang GT PP2 or whatever, where it kind of like followed all the kind of like imperfections of the road. This car doesn't do that because they use a slightly skinnier tire up front. And it was the same thing with the 1SS, 1LE 2019 that I drove. So I like how Camaro's very smart with that. I can easily drive this every day. There's not a lot of stupid like creaks and rattles in this thing. I'm about to talk about the interior here in a bit, but I'm just super impressed how just refined this car is. And actually, I said this about a lot of the GM kind of performance cars. They all kind of have this amazing kind of, you know, I don't want to say build quality because it's not, you know, it's not like a Lexus in here or anything like that, but it's just like, it's put together better than what you would think. And there's a lot of this Alcantara stuff, very nice seats, all that good stuff. But yeah, I'm very impressed with this. I don't really think that this is that bad to see out of compared to like a Corvette. You know, this is like, you know, I feel like people are just kind of over exaggerate that. I mean, no, it's not like driving a Prius in here, but it's not the worst thing to kind of get used to. The mirrors are a bit small, yes, but the, you know, rear view mirror, which surprisingly in the GM kind of press release for the 2013 model year, they were like, that was one of the highlights for them, you know, a frameless mirror. I'm like, all right, I didn't know that was something to brag about, but I do appreciate that. And I don't really have too many issues driving it. I think if you have the seat positioning set right, I can see over this thing, no problem, you know, a nice little carbon fiber hood thing going on. You know, it's very good. I'm not really tripping over it. And, you know, again, I must remind you, this is with 130K miles, drives phenomenal. Everything about this, you know, I kind of gave you like what it was like to drive. It's super easy to drive. It doesn't sound supercharged, even though it is. It just gives you a nice, like, you know what I'm saying? Like a V8 rumble and a very loud exhaust. There's, you know, I was too scared to actually like push this thing all the way because the place that I drive these cars at, it's like cop infested like hell, and there's nothing inconspicuous about this car. So know that it's stupid fast. That's not even remotely an issue. I think these things did like a top speed of 184 miles an hour, 0 to 60, 4 seconds flat, something like that. It can do like the quarter mile in a little under like 12 seconds, like 11.9 seconds, even if you got the automatic, which, again, please don't do that. This is the one that you want. It's such a great transmission. Anybody can get in here, drive it. It's super easy. It's not even remotely an issue at all. There's literally like not any real faults I can find driving this thing out on the road. I took it over the garbage bumps. I even had it in sport mode, but I actually didn't really detect much of a difference in the magnetic ride. I didn't really notice it getting any stiffer or anything like that. Tour mode is kind of what I started off in. Even with the traction control on, it was very skittish, this car, when you like do first and second gear pulls in this thing. It's just so much power being sent to the rear wheels that it just kind of overrides the traction control, I guess, but still keeps you in check. It's still a predictable car to drive because unlike the Mustangs, this thing actually has like you know what's going on with this car. It's more so of a connected feeling. I know when the rear is going out. I know what the front is doing. I know what the steering's doing. Like, it's a very predictable car, and that's why I prefer the Camaro to the Mustang, even though I really appreciate what Mustang has to bring to the table. It's still a cool car to me. Still one that you can enjoy driving. However, I think the Camaro is the superior choice amongst the kind of American three. The biggest advantage to a Challenger is you can be a big boy and fit in that thing, no issues, and it's very comfy in a traditional like American luxury car type way. This is like comfortable in like an advanced like sports car, track car type way. It just has a very sophisticated, high quality suspension setup. So it's impressive. I love it. This easily has my vote for it. One thing about Camaros also, before I get into the interior segment, is they're a little bit more fun to drive than a Corvette. There's just something a little bit more soulful, more fun to drive type of thing. I feel like a Corvette is kind of made for like a cruising type purpose, as crazy as that is to say, because that's more so of a dedicated sports car chassis. I get it that this is not. They even make V6 even today, like 4-cylinder turbo versions of this, but don't let that get to you. This is still an amazing platform and chassis and all that stuff, even with the weight of this car. So I'm impressed with it. If you have experience with this car, please let me know. If you're an owner or if you've driven this car, let me know your thoughts. Finally, let's get into this interior segment and wrap this thing up. So these seats are a huge highlight to me. Yes, this car is very comfortable. However, these seats are doing a great job adding to that comfort aspect of this vehicle. It's not like super bolstered up. You can still be like a kind of a, you know, big boy, big girl and still fit in here. It's got this nice little Alcantara suede thing going on in the middle. It's just so plush to sit in this thing, and they just crush it with the seating of these cars. You have a nice little sunroof here, which I'm about to close up because it's very hot. The steering wheel is very nice. I think a lot of you will be happy that they did not do a Alcantara steering wheel. I like Alcantara steering wheels, but I will admit to you guys, they don't age the best. So this leather steering wheel has aged great. No real issues I can really detect with this thing. I'm surprised by this thing. This is with 130K miles. One thing I will say though, the steering wheel is a little bit on the larger side, at least when you look at it, but you know, when I started driving it, it was pretty good. Just have a nice little flat bottom here as well. Pedal placement is phenomenal. I love the pedals in this thing. Again, you can do heel toe downshifts. That's not an issue. You can blip the throttle. Everything is easy with this. The clutch is predictable. Everything about this car is predictable and makes it so much fun to drive because of that. Now, a little interior thing I noticed as soon as I got into this vehicle, I thought it was a big slab of piano black plastic, and it kind of is, but isn't. It kind of has like this mineral flake thing going on, and it's, you know, just a big piece of plastic. Again, this is not a Lexus, but for a GM product with this many miles on it, I am surprised at the way that this thing has aged. Let me tell you, it is surprisingly solid and well built in here. It's something I noticed with the performance cars that GM makes as opposed to their more regular cars. So these age a lot better. Again, surprisingly no creaks and rattles. And again, I can't really give you a proper analysis of the refinement of this car. This car is too loud for me to, you know what I'm saying? Every time I got on the throttle, I can't really give you a proper assessment of tire noise, wind noise. I'm assuming that's going to be higher than average, especially with these fat tires on this car. So, you know, anyway, you don't care about that. You just listen to that amazing V8 and that rumble that this car has and just enjoy it for that. All the functions work in this car. The only thing that this car needs is a tire pressure monitoring system thing. That's the only thing that's throwing up. Otherwise, everything is working and great. The mirror controls, they have a nice sturdy feel to it, surprisingly. Unlike that Cadillac CTS-V thing, this is far superior to that CTS-V. It's refined, but it also has all the kind of sports car characteristics of that kind of Corvette that I drove. So yeah, this is fantastic. Anyway, one touch up and down windows, and they're like fast as hell too. Yeah, they make a stupid sound like that, but like they're fast as hell to respond and react. So one touch up and down, that's great. The doors aren't super heavy despite it being a coupe. Push it out, close it, it's not a big deal. It makes little squeaky noises when you do that, but it's not, again, not a big deal. Not a whole lot of space in here, of course. You know, it's a Camaro, it's a sports car. You can't really put anything in the door pockets here. This center armrest, and it's got a little square space in there. It's whatever. Got two little cup holders here. Glove box just drops down. No tension or anything to it at all. It just drops down, crashes down, but it's a huge space in there, so that kind of helps make it a little bit more practical. Again, you got some Alcantara going around the space here, you know, the front dash here. You really have to just press up against things, you know, like this kind of plastic center console to see it flex and shake a little bit, but it doesn't creak and rattle. That's the most important thing to me, because you're not going to be, you know, shaking and yanking up against these plastics when you own this car, so it's pretty good. And this, you know, I love this manual transmission. Got a nice little Alcantara finish here up top, nice to grip onto, very nice. Great driving experience. Driving wise, they just nailed it there, so I love that. Physical brake, of course, for the parking brake, so that's nice. You know, bust nice little drifts in this thing. There's no push button start in here. You actually have the, you know, you have the flip out key. You stick that thing in there. You have automatic headlights, which is great. I love that. Very convenient feature there. You have a normal turn signal stock. It is all plastic. Looks kind of goofy, but it works. That's the most important thing. You have this stupid little infotainment screen here. I don't even care about it. It has no real tactile feedback, but it does kind of react pretty good, so that's not bad. I don't have any main issues with this thing. This thing is fitted with like a Boston kind of sound system. I heard it. It sounds pretty decent actually, so I'm not really tripping over that. I don't like how, you know, I like how there's climate control buttons here that are separated from this whole system here. However, you have to look up at the screen to see like your fan speed and like the temperature and all that stuff. And it's kind of cumbersome to use at first. It's like really tightly packed together kind of buttons, so you have to kind of get used to that. Yeah, some you know, for the track junkies out there, shows you all the little temps and all that stuff down here, the boost, all that good stuff. Your traction control off button is here. Your sport controls are here as well. And rear seats, don't even get me started on that. But the trunk space, it was actually surprisingly decent. However, like how most people say, the opening of the trunk is what kind of made it useless. Otherwise, it was about the same size as my LC500. So I kind of like the size of it, but it's just useless because you can't really like put anything practical in there. The opening isn't good. But yeah, one last little interior thing I'll touch on. We'll kind of end this bad boy off. Yeah, you have the heads-up display. However, you have a physical button to kind of push it on and off. So you can change it here, all that good stuff. So turn it off if you want to. It's not distracting in any way. It actually shows some pretty good information. You can kind of move it however you want to. So it's nice, man. It's a great car, dude. I actually was not expecting this thing to age this well or to drive this well with this many miles on it, but these high mileage cars have been impressing me for sure. It's fantastic. I have zero issues with this thing. You even have a backup camera in this, which actually helps as well. I do appreciate seeing that. So it's a nice little car. It's a great pickup for any of you guys. 26 grand, you know, you're getting one of the fastest cars out of the road. I mean, I couldn't really do this car much justice because I live in a cop infested place. So, you know, I pushed it a little bit, you know, a little first, second gear pulls. It was fast as hell for sure, and it's more than enough for what you guys want to do with this car. So yeah, enjoy it. Take it to a track, take it to a drag strip, do what you want with it because it's the cheapest one you can possibly buy. So if you want to, check this out at Cary Imports. It's also Chris Harris's, one of his most favorite cars ever. So if you're gonna buy it, all their information is down in the description box below. But thank you again for watching. Take care and goodbye.